Here on the OCU Athletics Update, we're talking to Delaware Resource Group Superstar Athlete of the Week, Kieran McLachlan, a senior from Airdrie, Scotland. He is a key member of OCU's midfield this season, and moving over here from Scotland and playing here at OCU, what adjustments have you made?
Well, initially when I came over, the main thing was the heat, the change in the temperature. Luckily, I was kind of a bit more prepared, I think, than maybe some foreign guys who come from colder climates, because I actually came and viewed some schools the year before. So I kind of knew what I was getting myself in for heat-wise, but there really is nothing that can prepare you for it. You just kind of have to learn not to panic, and obviously I've stayed here for like 2 summers now, so I'm a bit more used to it. But yeah, that's the main thing is the kind of temperature. But soccer is at a good level here as it is back home, so that's basically the big difference is the heat.
With as many international players on the squad that you have, does that cause any communication problems on the team?
No, everyone on the team speaks English. Even like the Brazilian guys, their English is probably more easy to understand than mine, I suppose. But no, there's no communication problems. Everyone uses English, and we try and make it at training. Like we try and speak as clear as possible and make sure everyone understands each other.
Your father played professionally in the Scottish Football League.
He did, yeah.
I imagine that was a pretty big motivating factor for you to get into soccer.
Definitely, it was great. My stepdad Alistair, I remember going and watching him playing pro and semi-pro, and I was lucky enough to have him coach the team that I played for before I came here. So I definitely learned a lot from him, and definitely wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him and pushing me on and trying to get me going better myself. So yeah, that was a big thing, getting to actually play for him as well.
When you see an OCU alum like Chris Spindlove turn pro and then get into coaching with the Oklahoma City Energy like he has, does that motivate you even more?
Oh, definitely. Especially, it was good. I was really happy for Chris. Actually, when I came here on trial, Chris kind of took me under his wing and let me stay in his apartment and showed me around and stuff. So yeah, that gives a lot of, especially the younger guys, like to show that you can progress and go and better yourself here in soccer and obviously coaching or whatever you want to do.
What's your major here at OCU?
It's kinesiology.
And what career plans do you have following soccer?
Hopefully, I'd love to continue like coaching at some level. I've coached a bit at the high school here in the last few spring semesters up at Northwest Classen, but I want to kind of go into the field of like strength conditioning and maybe help injury rehab injured athletes, stuff like that, or maybe physical therapy. Just that I want to still be around sport and in some capacity.
All right, thanks very much. We're talking to Delaware Resource Group Superstar Athlete of the Week, Kieran McLachlan, and coming up next on the OCU Athletics Update, we'll hear from his coach, Brian Harvey.
There's a call to be answered. The spirit of competition is still alive inside. The desire still drives. The phrase student athlete has a great ring to it. Lasting friendships are ready to be made. You just want to keep playing. Game on. Learn more at naia.org.
Here on the OCU Athletics Update, we're talking to soccer coach Brian Harvey. The Stars will open conference play this weekend against Wayland Baptist at Stars Field. And Coach, your women have started 5-0. What's been the key to their success?
Well, we've got a very in-form Alison Worsham at the moment, and she's scoring goals for fun. But at the other end, we've got a defense that's anchoring very, very strong. We've conceded only 1 goal in 5 games. So when you're stopping them at one end and scoring them at the other, I mean, you've got a formula for success.
You mentioned only having given up 1 goal this year. What's been the key to the defensive performance?
Well, I think we've got a very good back line. I mean, the back 4 have been very steady. They're denying shots on goal. We've had very few shots allowed on goal, but when shots have gotten through, actually our goalkeeper Flash, she's done very, very well.
Turning over to the men, you have a freshman in the goal, Vladimir Kalashik. What was the key to, or what was the idea of putting a freshman in goal this year?
Well, I admire your pronunciation on his name, I must say. We basically brought in 2 freshmen. We graduated one last year. We have another young man Michael Pugh behind him. So it's he's at the moment the better of the two, and he's kind of like he's had a good year so far. He had a little bit of a bump in the road last weekend, but other than that, he's been quite steady.
What's the outlook for the men and the women heading into conference play this year?
Well, it's like, I think it's wide open, and I don't think we've seen the best of the men yet. I think they've yet to find their true form. We've had some difficult games. We've been in games. We just haven't found a way to win them. On the women's side, I think it's, we'll be there or thereabouts at the end. The men need to steer clear of injuries and just have a good run at it.
Back in the spring, you participated in a reunion of the Dallas Tornado, a team from the 1960s. Tell us about that reunion and maybe a couple of stories about the Dallas Tornado.
Well, actually, it was a great reunion once I recognized everybody. It went down rather well, but we got a lot of publicity out of it. The BBC and also World Service, and also several documentary companies are thinking of making it into a movie, so made for TV. So I said that I would definitely give my approval to that if they have Brad Pitt play me. So, no, but it was great seeing all these guys that you hadn't seen for almost 50 years, and it was great catching up, and it was just a wonderful time.
You've traveled throughout the world playing soccer. What's been maybe your favorite memory of traveling playing soccer? Oh,
I think, all over. I think one of the nicest places we played in was in Tahiti. We played in the capital in Pat-Pay, and we played in a velodrome, a bicycle track, a velodrome around, and you could see the South Pacific Sea from one side and these volcanic mountains going up the other side. It was very, very picturesque. So that would be, but I mean, Hong Kong was a great place to play, and Australia, and it was a great ride.
What inspired you to get into coaching as your career?
I suppose, why do actors become directors or producers? It was very similar to that. I loved being around soccer, and the next best thing is, they say if you can't play it, coach it. If you can't coach it, ref it. So I guess I just couldn't play anymore. I was too old to play, and I felt that I could lend my experience or my eyes to the game and be a coach.
All right, Coach, thanks very much.
Thank
Talking
you.
to OCU soccer coach Brian Harvey. The Stars will open conference play this weekend. You can follow their progress on OCUsports.com.